Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss and learn about biomechanics of posture. So, here are the following contents of this video. So, for a better understanding of postural analysis, we should understand about kinetics and kinematics of posture. As we all are familiar with the term kinetics and kinematics. When we talk about kinematics, it is the study, that is the description of motion by distance, time, acceleration. What is kinetics? It is the study of the forces caused by the motion. So, when we say kinetics and forces, there are the following section which examines the effect of both external and internal forces on the body in the standing posture. Here are the following forces: internal and external, inertia, gravity, ground reaction forces. In internal forces, those are the muscle activity, passive tension in ligaments, tendons, and so on. When comes to the inertial forces, it is considered in the postural analysis for all dynamic posture, example walking, running, jogging, and so on, for better understanding. Moving on to the next slide. Ground reaction forces is the force exerted by the ground on a body in contact with it. Vector that represents it is the ground reaction force vector. It is the resultant force that represents both magnitude and direction of the loading applied on the body. So, what is coincident action line? It is the line formed by the ground reaction force vector and line of gravity, serves as a reference for the analysis of the forces on the body segment. In this figure, it shows the location of the combined line action formed by the ground reaction force vector and the line of gravity in optimal standing posture. So, when we talk about the sagittal plane during standing posture, the effect of the external forces on the body segment is determined by the location of line of gravity, that is in relation to the axis of the motion of the body segment. When there is an increase in the distance between the line of gravity and joint axis, then the magnitude of the gravitational moment of force also increases. In postural analysis, in sagittal plane, motion of the proximal segment is produced by the external forces are said as flexion or extension moment. That is also shown in the figure 2 in the next slide. So, as discussed in the previous slide, this figure shows the ankle joint axis. The arrow indicates the direction of the dorsiflexion moment. The dotted line indicates the direction in which the tibia would move if the dorsiflexion moment were unopposed. It says that if the line of gravity passes anterior to the ankle joint axis, the external gravitational moment will tend to rotate the tibia. That is what the proximal segment to the ankle joint will move in the anterior direction. So when we talk about the optimal posture, in optimal standing posture, the line of gravity passes very close to the joint axis. but mostly not through the joint axis. Therefore, the external gravitational moments are relatively smaller and can be balanced by internal moments. Those internal moments are passive capsular and ligamentous tension, passive muscle tension, and muscle activity, that is at very lesser amount. However, deviations from an optimal standing posture causes excessive strain in passive structures and require high levels of muscle activity. So it is very important to be identified and some remedial action to be taken to cure all such deviations. So when it comes to the analysis of posture in sagittal plane, we have observational analysis, and that is done by locating the body segments in relation to LOG, line of gravity. Plumb line analysis is a way used in observational analysis, wherein we have to draw a line or suspend a weight dropped at one end from the ceiling and passing through the external auditory meatus of ear that represents the line of gravity. Used in postural analysis, it also serves as a visual comparison to the line of gravity. For example, when the plumb line is centered over S1, it should fall in the line with the occipital protuberance. But in uncompensated scoliosis, however, it will be seen to fall lateral to the occipital protuberance. So, as discussed above, these are the respective points to be analyzed using the plumb line analysis for standing posture in sagittal plane. So, as discussed, these are the respective points to be analyzed for a standard standing posture in sagittal plane. As shown in the image, the line of gravity passes through the vertex, through the earlobes, just behind the mastoid process, then anterior to the axis of flexion and extension of the neck, then it bisects the acromion process, then it passes through the body of C1 to C6, T11, L5 and S1. Then the line of gravity passes behind the axis of hip joint, then it passes through the anterior to the knee joint axis, then it passes anterior to the lateral malleolus. In this slide, the respective images describe the points of symmetry to be analyzed or observed in anterior, posterior and lateral views. Sagittal plane alignment and analysis is done under the following subheading. This table shows the alignment of body segments in sagittal plane. Then comes the postural deviations in standing position. Deviation from optimal alignment in sagittal plane under head and neck. The first deviation to be discussed is forward head or forward neck posture, where we have an increased flexion of the lower cervical and upper thoracic region, an increased extension of the occiput on the upper cervical vertebrae, also said as protrusion of mandible. The second postural deviation in reference to neck is the flat neck posture. Under that, you can observe is the decreased cervical lordosis, increased flexion of the occiput on the attalus, retraction of the mandibles. It is also called as military posture. Thank you for listening this video. Hope this video helps in clearing the concept behind the kinetics and kinematics of posture and helps in the analysis of the posture deviations.